Oh, before I go, I think I have 2 more Irish single malt whiskeys before I shift gears and come back to the United States and actually start looking at some bourbons. Welcome to Whiskey is a Journey. My name is Peter Fasciano, and in today's journey, we are going to head to County Kerry in Ireland. This time, we're going to be taking a look at Dingle. Specifically, we're looking at Dingle Single Malt Batch 5. Let's go ahead and pour it, nose it, taste it, and talk about it. So what do we know about the whiskey? It is non-chill filtered. It's also all natural color. This has 3 casks involved. We're looking at a marriage of bourbon, Pedro Jimenez, and Madeira casks. Let's go ahead and nose it. Right up front, we have that Madeira and strong Pedro Jimenez coming through. We have those dark fruits, those plums, raisins, a lot of raisins, and the figs. This is coming in at 46.5% ABV, triple distilled, $89 on the Whiskey Exchange. This is one of the first whiskeys that I actually purchased online. I don't think I can get Dingle here in the United States without some researching and trying to find where it's at. I've never seen it in Total Wine & More. I've never seen it in any of my liquor stores or Bevmo. So I had to resort to Whiskey Exchange. Coming through, I'm getting some berries. I'm getting a little bit of the wine influence here, but I'm definitely getting the Pedro Jimenez and the Madeira influence here. Definitely a lot of dark fruit. Let's go ahead and give it a taste. Definitely a blast of raisins. A little bit of fig, but mostly raisin. It's very sweet. Kind of arrives on your tongue, very fruity. A little spicy, little barrel tannin. I don't think I'm getting much of the ex-bourbon barrels in here. Let's go and talk about the casks for a second. Now, if you watch any of my previous videos, you know cask influence is going to play a big part in what you're actually getting in the taste or on the nose. When we're looking at ex-bourbon, it's going to give you like something light in color. You've got those vanillas, a little bit of honey. It should be creamy, maybe a little bit of hint of coconut. I have never once gotten any coconut out of any Irish whiskeys that I've had. The Pedro Jimenez, you get heavy raisin, Christmas cake, get a little darker in color, darker fruits, dark chocolate. There's a sweetness to it. It's a stickiness, a lot of viscosity onto your tongue. And the Madeira gives it, or could give it, a little bit of a nutty note, some coffee, somewhat similar to the Oloroso casks, but there is no Oloroso here. And maybe it gives it more of a wine character. And I think I am kind of picking up some of the wine characteristics. Let's go ahead and give it another taste. Yeah, definitely heavy raisin. I'm actually liking this quite a bit. The development on this, it hits your tongue like I mentioned before. You get that initial blast of raisin, a little bit of the dryness of the wine, maybe a little bit of barrel tannin, 46.5 ABV, burning a little bit going down. Not bad. The finish is pretty much medium. I don't have anything long lasting here. Overall, initially, pretty good. I wouldn't say it's the best Irish that I've had, Irish single malt, but it's definitely up there. Now let's go ahead and add a little bit of water to this, and let's go ahead and talk about where people are getting their whiskeys, or at least where I'm getting my whiskeys. So being in America, I'm pretty much relegated to Total Wine & More, Bevmo, my local liquor stores, and some of the online stuff that I have. So taking a look at my whiskey collection, and let me go ahead and take a look at my notes so I'm not getting anything wrong. 93% of my whiskeys that I have in my collection are coming directly from Bevmo and Total Wine & More. 7% are coming from every place else, which is online, local liquor stores, and Drizzly. So I've got 4 whiskeys that I've actually ordered from the Whiskey Exchange, and I have to talk about that a little bit. So even though this is coming in at $89 on Whiskey Exchange, living in America, there's got to be shipment and taxes that are coming in. So the overall price of this, I only got one thing, and it cost me $144 total for this bottle. Now, my suggestion would be, don't buy just one thing. If you're in America and you're using the Whiskey Exchange, save up, purchase 5, 6, 7 bottles of whiskey, so you're only paying a certain, flat tax, I believe, on the shipment. Because $144 for this bottle total is not worth it. 80, yes. 144, absolutely not. So let's talk a little bit about Graham Cool. He is the master distiller at Dingle. He joined Dingle in 2019. Prior to that, he was in Glen Murray for 14 years. And then prior to that, he was part of William Grant. That's Glenfiddich. And then he also worked a little bit with Belvany, and I think Belvany is part of Glenfiddich or William Grant. So he's got quite a bit of experience. And going into Dingle, I believe he took over the job of master distiller, and the name is escaping me. I'll go ahead and put it on screen here in a little bit. But in 2019, when he took over as master blender, this is the first one that he actually produced. His name is not on the bottle, but he definitely did choose the casks that went into this. And batch number 6 is all towny port. And then I believe batch number 6 is going to be the final single batch of their batch releases. And now they're shifting more towards their core releases of the single malt and their core releases of their single pot still. All right, so let's go ahead and nose this with the water and then give it a taste, and then we'll go ahead and wrap this up. All right, on the nose, it looks like that it has opened up a little bit. Get a little bit more floral. And again, I've said this in my previous videos. When I'm adding water to Irish whiskeys, it seems like it brings out a floral note to it. But I'm still definitely heavy on the dark fruits, especially the raisins. Figs and plums a little bit, but definitely raisin. Let's go ahead and give it a taste. A little bit brighter. I believe the oiliness or the ABV is now coming through a little bit more. It's always been pretty strange to me that when you add water to it, how much of the complexity of the whiskey actually change. Not all whiskeys change with water adding, but I'm shocked on how much some do change with the water. And as you saw, I didn't add very much, but it's definitely a little bit more effervescent. I'm getting more of the ABV out of it. Maybe there's more water-soluble particles in this than non-water soluble, so maybe I'm getting a little bit more of the oils from the barrels, or just from the whiskey making process alone. Let's go ahead and give it another taste. Yeah, yet again, this is another whiskey that I'm actually preferring with a little bit of water. There just seems to be more of a finish, more of a development. It lasts longer, it coats the tongue a little bit more. The ABV, to me, even though I'm proving it down with the water, it still comes out a little bit more of a spice, a little bit more floral notes to it. I'm definitely liking the Pedro Jimenez influence on here. Not necessarily the wine influence. I don't like how it's drying out my mouth with that wine influence itself, but I'm definitely liking the dark fruits from the Pedro Jimenez. All right, let's get on to the scoring. Up to this point with my Irish whiskeys, the Bushmill 16 is definitely the one that I like the most. I gave that one 4 stars. I don't think I particularly care for this one as much as I do the Bushmills, but not by much. So because I like the Bushmills a little bit more, I obviously can't give this one a 4. I definitely like it more than all of the other single malts that I've had. So let's go ahead and give this one 3.95, almost 4 stars. I think the reason why this won't hit 4 stars for me, I'm not necessarily liking the wine influence portion of this, maybe with it drying out my tongue. Not that impressed with it, but by no means is it bad. I mean, I'm giving it 4.9 or 3.95, almost 4 stars. All right, let's go ahead and give it one last taste. Yeah, the drying effect. That's definitely one of the things that's knocking it down from 4 stars. The barrel tannin, a little bit more of a bite than I wanted. The ABV, I believe it's perfect, especially with watering it down with the water or proofing it down with the water. I think it holds up really well. And I'm definitely, like I mentioned before, I'm really liking the Oloroso impact on here. Those dark fruits, the raisins, the plums, the figs, mainly the raisins. Balanced with the sweet and the spice. Yeah, it's a good tasting whiskey. All right, so that's where I'm going to leave it today. If you guys are new to the channel, you're not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and consider subscribing if you're liking this information. If you are familiar with Dingle, or if you just want to make some comments are welcome down below. Like this video, share it with somebody that you know that's in the whiskey world. Enjoy your journey, and I'll see you guys next time. Oh, before I go, I think I have 2 more Irish single malt whiskeys before I shift gears and come back to the United States and actually start looking at some bourbons. So with that being said, enjoy your journey. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.